Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. We just want to give him a little bit of total praise this morning. I don't know where you are and I don't know what he's done for you, but you might want to say amen. Amen. Say thank you, Father. Amen. Amen. I don't know if you can sing or not, but still that word, amen, is good for everybody. You might say amen. 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 You might want to say amen. Let me know you're here. Somebody bless the Lord in this place. Indeed, it is a good thing to once again give honor, praise, and glory to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, the Holy One of Israel, the one who spoke and this world came into being. Indeed, it is a pleasure and an honor once again to be before you on this high and holy Sabbath day. We want to give him the honor, the praise, and the glory that befits his elegance and his beauty and his bountifulness and everything that he does for us. We want to give God every measure of praise which is due unto him. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the book of Bereshith, the book of Genesis. As I've told you before, the Torah cycles every year for us. So the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses, are broken up into 52 portions to correspond with a different week of the year. So this is the beginning of the reading of the book of the Torah. So I did not want to not give you something to think about and knowing that this is a new beginning of the reading of the Torah. So we're going to come to you today out of the book of Genesis, So the book of Genesis, we call that book Bereshith. Bereshith. In Hebrew, that's called Bereshith. So English wasn't a language in the preceding generations before us. English became a language very, very late. So we want to actually kind of refer back to the beginning of the language that we use, which is the Hebrew language. And so since I'm a Hebrew and these are the Greek scriptures, these are the Hebrew scriptures. So I want to talk to you a little bit, in the Hebrew scriptures. And me being a Hebrew, I'm going to come at this from a Hebrew perspective. It may be a little bit different from a Christian perspective because, there's no logos for us. We don't have the logos which you call the Trinity. We have only what is written here. And it's only that we serve the true and living God. So for us, we only know him as one entity who did it all. He's the one that spoke and then it was. So this book is called In the Beginning. And it reads, Bereshith bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He said it and it was. He said it and it was. And I'm going to teach from a Hebrew perspective, and this is, to do with the 7-day theory, so that, the Torah wasn't written. See, the beginning of the Torah wasn't written at that time. So at the time of Adam and Eve, there was no one writing about Adam and Eve. Moses is the one who wrote all of this thousands of years later when he was on Mount Sinai with the Almighty God. So when he was on Mount Sinai, this is what the Almighty told him to write in the book. So this is what Moses wrote about the beginning story. This is not the true creation story, because if we had the true creation story, it would be so many volumes that your life would expire before you would even get out of chapter 1. So we can't understand how God did it all. We can understand why he did it. We can understand when he did it. We can understand where he did it. But the how and the why, that belongs to God, because we can't really handle, because God is not fixed on this planet with us. So he gave us something that we could understand. This is not God's understanding. This is just for us to understand that he did it. So time has no sense with God. Time is for us. So time is for us. So Moses wrote this thousands of years, if not millions of years later, because the creation story, we don't understand the beginning of it because we weren't there and nobody else was there. Only God was there when God decided to do what God does. So if you're going to do something, it must start with an idea. Something must illuminate, or something must light up in your head to actually make something happen. So on the first day, see, now the earth was unformed and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. Vehi or. And there was light. So God decided that, hey, you know what? The light of God, not the sun, not the moon, but the light, the illumination of God, saying and deciding that God says, I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to create something. So that's the first day. And the first day doesn't seem like it's a lot going on, but with everything that happens, it has to start with an idea. So man lit up and said, I'm going to create something. And it doesn't say anything else was created on that first day. It's just saying that God had, in his infinite wisdom and in his ability to create, God had an idea that I'm going to make something happen. Has that ever happened to you where you decided to make something happen that wasn't there before, where you like you were immature, and then you decided like, hey, the idea that I want to get married, or the idea that I want money, or the idea that I'm a do something that wasn't there before. This is what God has decided to do on the first day. God by himself, nobody else was with him. He was by himself. God is not even anything like we could even identify. That's why he's omnipresent and omnipotent. He's everywhere in all of the places at all times. So God is not locked into this earth like us. So on the first day, God decided, hey, let there be light. And then even when you were born, you were in darkness, and then you came out of that darkness of being born, and then you looked, and then you saw the light as a baby. So God not in his beginning, but in our beginning, decided to say, let there be light. Anybody understands that? So it wasn't the light of the sun, it wasn't the light of the moon, but it was God, the illumination and the thought process and the wisdom of God that just decided that I'm going to make something. So the days belong to us. It doesn't belong to God. And then on the second day, Vayemel Elohim Vehi, and God said, let there be Rokia Batok Hamayim, in the midst of the waters, Veikim Evedil Bain Mayim Lamayim, and let's separate the waters. See, there's waters in heaven, and then there's waters on the earth. Vayas Elohim Ed Harakia Yivadil Bain Hamayim. And God made the firmament and divided between the waters. Asher mitakad lerakia, that were under the firmament, ubein hamayim, in between the waters. Asher ma'il lerakia, that he came, and there was the water in the firmament above, and it was below. Yikra Elohim lerakia hashemayim, and God called the firmament that was above heaven. And there was evening, Vehi erev vehi boker, and there was morning, a second day. So there was evening. That always the night becomes before the day for Hebrews. So the night is the next day, because darkness was here first, and then there was light, and then it came back to darkness, and then that's a full day. Not from morning to morning is a day with Hebrews. Evening to evening is a day, because that's what it says in the Torah. So the second day has to do with water. Vayomer Elohim yikavu hamayim, and God says, let the waters be gathered together, mitakak hashamayim, under the heavens, il makom akad, into one place. So now he's creating seas now. He's creating, Lake Michigan. He's creating the Atlantic Ocean. He's creating the Pacific Ocean, and how far their expanses are. And then, Tirei ha yibasa, and let the dry land appear. That he came, and it was so. But Yikra Elohim, and God called, but yibasa eretz, the dry land, earth. And the gatherings of the waters, Kara Hayamim, he called them seas. But Yerai Elohim, and God saw Kitov, that it was good. God saw that what he was doing, as any architect or any engineer or any singer or any rapper, you have to begin, when you begin to do your work, you have to have it in your idea first. And as you are doing the work, it becomes, now you looking at it, and now it's shaping up, it's forming into what you want, what you had the idea about. And this is how God is just giving us he's giving us a glimpse of what he did. He's giving us a narrative. This is a narrative. This is not the true story, because if he did, we would have so many books of how he did it, nor could we understand it. But he's giving us a glimpse. He's condensing his creative powers, and how he chose to make this earth, this existence that we are living in. He's telling us what he thought in his mind and how he formed it all. And so now we are on the fourth day. But Tida Shah Eretz, the Shah, still the third day, And the earth put forth grass. After he created the seas, and then he created like land, and then he had to make like grass and herbs for somebody to eat. So if he had made you first, then you wouldn't be able to, what would you eat? So God is still, he's in his order. He created Esav, herbs, Mizrah, Zerah, yielding seed, Eitz, Pari, and fruit trees. Asa, Pari, bearing fruit, Lemano, after its kind, Asher Cherah, bow, wherein the seed is, Il Haris upon the earth, that he came, and it was so. With Tazeh Ha'aris, and the earth brought forth the shah grass, it said herd, Mizrah, Azerah, yielding she, Lemano, after its kind. But Yerai Elohim, and God saw, Kitov, that it was good. And so now we move to the first day. Vehi erev, and there was evening. Vehi boker, and there was morning. Yom Shilishi, a third day. And God said, and God still, he's working now. Vayomer Elohim, Vehi mirot, let there be lights. Bereshith hashemayim, in the firmament of the heaven. Let have deal to divide. Bein hayom, between the day. Ubein halayla, in between the night. So even the first 3 days, there was no sun and no moon to actually give it a sense of time, because the sun and the moon and the stars was only created on the fourth day. Lehavdil, to divide Bain Hayom, between the day, Ubaim Halayla, and between the night. Veyu Leolot, and there was to be signs. Ume Odim, and for season. Uyamim, and for days. Vehashanim, and years. And God is now giving us that we can have a sense of time now. He's making it where now time is being set for us mortals, so that we can understand what day it is, what year it is, how much time we possibly have left to live. God has given us now a sense of time, and we're back to now the lights. So the first day, God said, "Let there be light," and then on the fourth day, there was lights, the sun, the moon, the stars, so that it might be able to tell time, seasons, years, to have its own timeline, to have timelines on the earth. This is the fourth day. But Ya'as Elohim et Shnei HaMerorot, and God made the two great lights, Et HaMiror HaGadol, the great light, the sun, Lemim Shalet Bayom, to rule the day, Et HaMiror HaKatan, and the lesser light, the Mim Shalet Halayla, to rule the night, the moon, V'et HaKokavim, and the stars. V'yatein Otam Elohim, and God set them, Bereki HaShemayim, in the firmament of the heaven, Leha or Eha Eris, to give light upon the earth. Somebody should be happy about that. As you saw my pictures from yesterday when the Sabbath came in, you saw the sun going down, you saw the land, and then you saw the sea. You see these three different dimensions now that was in the picture. That's such a profound and a phenomenal picture that it gave us a sense of what's out in the heavens. It gave us a sense of what's on the earth. And then it gave us a sense of the seas, but we couldn't see what was up under the seas that was teeming with life. Somebody say amen. Ubain HaKoshek, and he set the lights to set the difference between the darkness and the day, where Yerah Elohim, and God saw, Kitol, that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth day. And now we're moving to the fifth day. We're back to the water now. Vayomer Elohim, and God said, Yishrazu Hamayim, let the waters teem. Seres Nafes Kaya, with swarms of living creatures, thou your left, and let the fowl fly, Il Ha'aris, above the earth, Il Panei Haruki Hashemayim, in the open firmament of the heaven. V'yik Ra Elohim, and God created Et HaHaktananim, the great sea monsters, Vidkol Nafes Kaya Haromaset, and every living creature that creepeth, wherewith the waters teemed after its own kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Yivarek Otam Elohim, and God blessed them. Lay more saying, Perur, Uravu, Umulu, and Hamayim, and fill the waters, where Yamim, in the seas, Va'ov Yarev, and let fowl multiply, but Eris, in the earth. So now he's created living creatures. He's created the birds, and he's created the fish of the sea. And, he's moving on now. Now God is in his plan. He's bringing it to fruition what the idea was in the beginning. And now it's coming to play. Everything that God thought in his mind is now being fulfilled on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth day. And now we come to the sixth day. Somebody say the sixth day. And God said, Tozi ha'aretz, let the earth bring forth nafesh kaya, living creatures, lemina, after its kind, behema, cattle, veromaz and creeping thing. But to who earth and beasts of the field, let me nigh after its kind, that he came and it was so. Where you ask Elohim and God made et hakayah earth, the beasts of the earth, let me nigh after its kind, v'da bivama let me nigh, and the cattle after its kind. Et kol romez ha'adamah, everything that creepeth upon the earth, let me nigh who after its kind. Where Yah Elohim and God saw, he told that it was good. So God is still creating and he's making things happen, and it's going beautifully. While Yomer Elohim and God said, Na Aseh Adam, let us make man. Bezelem in our likeness. God say they who knew after our like kindness. Will y'all do and let them have dominion. Bet God kaya over the fish of the sea, uv over Hashemayim, and over the fowl of the heavens, uviva mine over the cattle, over kol ha'aretz, and over all the earth. Over kol ha'romaz, and over every creeping thing. The karomaz that creeps il ha'aretz. And now God has said, now I will make this special thing. This special it. Let us make man. Let us create something in my own likeness. Having dominion as God has dominion. Let us create something that is a special thing, and I want him to be responsible for the earth. I want him to vouchsafe for the earth. Don't let this us feel you when he said let us make man. This is the creative forces and the powers of God that we call Elohim. I'm gonna use my creative powers. And I'm going to create this entity that we call man and women, humankind. No logos here. No. Oh, it was God, the Holy Ghost, and Jesus. No, we don't understand. We have no comprehension of that. We don't have. That's for Christians, and that's a beautiful thing. But for us, it's God doing it all by himself. God has done it all by himself. God will continue to do it all by himself. And God had done it all by himself. He doesn't need helpers. I mean, he uses angels, but he doesn't have partners like that. He's the only one that does everything. God said, let us make man. The female was already in the man. Because on verse 26 it says, and God created the man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So God has now created these two special entities, the man and his partner. Don't think that the woman wasn't there. The woman was already in the man. And so that when they say in chapter 2, when it says he took the rib out of the man, he pulled the woman out of the man so that they could be partners. See, when God created the animals, they was already partnered up. They already had the ideal of what their capabilities are and what kind of spirits the animals had. God is now saying, now I'm going to create a special thing that's called man. Man's job is to take care of the earth. We're not really doing a good job of that right now. God created the man to be God on the earth so that man could take care of the earth, but man has failed in taking care of the earth, taking care of the animals, taking care of the sea, taking care of the environment. Man has failed in vouchsafing and being responsible for the management and the responsibility and the accountability that it takes to rule the earth. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it. So this word replenish means that something was here before Adam and Eve. So when we say Bereshith bara Elohim, we saying in this beginning. We don't, God is probably, as any engineer, they got to scrape their plans. Any architect, sometimes when you first start out, the plan is not what you want it to be. You got to scrape your plan and then you have to start over. So we understanding that God is saying, replenish the earth and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the heaven and over every living thing that creepeth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. So when we was first born and when we first came on this planet, we were just eating vegetation. We was eating herbs. We was eating fruit. We was eating vegetables. So that's why most people, when they say I'm taking my diet back to Edenic type of, where I'm only going to eat what was here for us to eat in the beginning, which were fruits, nuts, vegetables, anything that grew out of the earth. We weren't eating animals then. So now he's saying to you, this shall be for you, food for you, and to every beast of the earth, and every fowl of the heaven, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, wherein there is a living soul. So everything that God had created, all the fish, all the birds, all of the cattle, everything had a living soul in it. Everything has a living soul in it. Every green herb for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made. So God is, it started out as an idea. Now it became the sun, the moon, the stars, all these, everything. And then God says, where they told me, after you complete a job, then you look back at it and you can see like it wasn't just good as the other days, but on the sixth day, it became very good. It became tov meod. It was not like the regular tov. It was like, I look back at everything I had done and it was very good. God is now pleased. He is now pleased with the work that he had done. And there was evening, the boker, and there was morning, Yom Hashishi, the sixth day. And so God now has completed like the work that he was going to do in formulating, his plan on the earth. And he has situated everything the way it should be. Like the sea now has its boundaries. Now the earth has its boundaries. And the sea, 71% of the face of the earth is water. 71% of your body is water. 71% of your dog is water. 70% of any family member of yours is water. 71% of any animal is water. God is, that's why, we kind of correlate with the planet. Everything that happens to the planet, it happens to us because we're connected to this earth. And that's why he says the man should have dominion over the earth and that we should care for it. But this is important now. This is what I really want to get to. Chapter 2 in the book of Genesis says this. Yakalu, and there were finished et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, the heaven and the earth, v'kol zevu and all the hosts of them. V'kol Elohim, and God finished by Yom HaShevi'i, on the seventh day. Malachto, his work, Asher Asa, which he had made, where you shall vote, and God rested. God rested by Yom Hashvi on the seventh day. Mikol Hamalato, from all his work, Asher Asha, which he had made. So God looked at his work. He said it was told me old, and now, as like when you look at your children and you look at the things you've done, and you might even take it to like from Sunday to Friday and look at your week, and you might be like, to rest on the Sabbath day. See, Sunday could never be the Sabbath day because Sunday is the first day of the week. You actually haven't done anything on Sunday. You had an idea of how you wanted your week to go. So you gotta work. You gotta work like God. You gotta work every day like God worked. And then on the, like first day you did this, and on the second day you did something else, and on the third day you got to plan your work and work your plan. You see, on the third day you're doing this, and on the fourth day you created that, and on the fifth day you went and did that, and on the sixth day I did some more work. But then on that seventh day, just like God, he gives us a reason to bless him on the Sabbath day. God is saying, like, I'm gonna look back over my week, look back over my 7 years, or look back over my 49th year, or look back. I want to look back and be refreshed about the work which he had done. God is telling us that I did it. I did some work, and now I'm resting. And that's what he invites us on a Sabbath day, to rest with him. When, like God looked at his work and said, I created the sun, I made the moon, I made the stars to every fish, I made birds, every species, from an eagle, a raven, a pigeon, a falcon, a whale, a shark, a goldfish, and what its own species capabilities are. That's because I'm God. I give certain fishes to the ability to jump out of the water like dolphins. I give other whales that are so huge and the biggest mammals on the earth. I gave them a special capability. I gave a goldfish to just be cute. God looked at all of his things that he created, and to all the creeping things on the earth, a dinosaur, an alligator, a frog, a dog, a cat, and all its various species. And then there was the crown of creation. I created mankind, who was designed in such a way to have dominion and to vouchsafe and be responsible for each other and for everything on the planet. And God said it was very good. It says that God looked at everything he had done. The magnificent works of God, the bountifulness of God, the beauty of it all. He beheld it and called it, told me, oh, very good. And then he rested. The 7th day is included as completion. Somebody say completion. See, the 7th day had no mate. First day, the mate for the first day is the 4th day. First day, he said, let there be light. 4th day, he created the sun, the moon, the stars. 2nd day, the mate for the 2nd day is the 5th day. He created the heavens and the waters that are above the heavens and the waters in the sea. And then on the 5th day, he created the fish and put something in the sea. And then the 3rd day, he created the land. And on the 6th day, he created animals to go on the land. But the 7th day, it didn't have a mate. So then God said that the people that honor the seventh day, the people that honor the seventh day, the people that honor the Sabbath, the people that glorifies, the people that sanctifies, the people that reflect how I did it all, they're going to be the mate. That'll be the mate. That'll be the parallel. That'll be the bride. That'll be the husband for the Sabbath. So that now the Sabbath has a mate, and the Sabbath, the mate of the Sabbath is his people. God is so wonderful and marvelous in his doing. You know, the people that celebrate with her, the people that reflect with her. The Sabbath is the crown of creation, and his mate is his people. And so that there's a specialness that the people of God have with the Sabbath day, that it's a bond. It was the thought in the beginning that I'm gonna give you some rest like me. I'm gonna give you rest like God. I'm gonna have you sit down and look at your week and look at what you did for the week and reflect. Because like me, my work was perfect, as God is saying. I did some perfect work. And hopefully when you look at your week and you begin your week working up to your Sabbath day, that you reflect on the Sabbath that, okay, I didn't have such a good week this week, but coming Sunday morning, I'm going to get up again and I'm going to try again to kind of create like God did. I'm going to try to build something like God did. I'm going to try to reflect God on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on the Sabbath, on the Saturday, I want to have a glow on me that might even illuminate my week beginning on Sunday. We want to thank the Almighty. I pray that I've said something or something's been read that made you think a little bit, and may God continue to bless, keep, and sustain. Shalom, Kizia. May God continue to bless, keep, and sustain your families wherever they may be. And may you have a blessed Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom.